This is the Alfa Romeo Giulia, and this is the brand new Alfa Romeo Stelvio. Of course, this is a sedan and this is a crossover. So why is the sedan next to the crossover? Because these two cars are almost identical underneath. The same suspension, the same powertrain. Well, everything under the skin is identical, except of course that this car is about 9 inches taller and about 2 inches longer and about 400 pounds heavier, making it, of course, a very popular crossover. And coming up right now, we're going to review one. Which one? This one, of course. When Jaguar introduced the F-Pace, which competes against the Stelvio, it outsold all the other Jaguar models combined, and that is why today I am reviewing and standing in front of an Alfa Romeo crossover. First and foremost, this is probably the least off-road worthy car in its segment, and that's a good thing because, let's face it, this is one of the sportiest cars in the segment. On one end you've got off-road ability, and on the other end you've got kind of Formula One performance, and the two don't usually live together. That doesn't mean you can't go on a dirt road like I am right now, or perhaps in snow. You've got all that, but certainly this is not a car you're going to be taking up any kind of serious Colorado off-road trail, nor should you be. This is the classic Alfa Romeo Trilobo, or the Alfa Romeo face or grille, and as you can tell, it's identical on both cars, but to my eye, I like the look of it on the crossover more, just because it's a little bit more sculpted, a little bit more elegant, just a little bit more aggressive, and that's a very good thing because this is a sports car for the road. The other thing about this car that's kind of cool is this DNA switch. The D stands for dynamic, natural, and the A stands for efficient. Yeah, go figure, it's advanced efficient. But basically it's very simple to switch from one mode to the other without actually having to pick all the kind of separate modes that a lot of the German cars have. Alfa Romeo says that this is the fastest car in its segment, and of course that segment includes some pretty fast cars. The Porsche Macan, the Jaguar F-Pace, the Audi Q5. That's because this is a twin-scroll 2-liter that puts out 280 horsepower and 306 pound-foot of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission with massive paddle shifters that powers all four wheels. Alfa Romeo says 0 to 60, 5.4 seconds, a top end of 144 miles an hour, and a car that can do all that while giving you the confidence of all-weather, all-wheel drive. Fast. This turbo has a little bit of turbo lag, but man, when it spools up, it gets going. And that 306 pound-foot of torque, you can really feel this car likes to get up and go, and it is buttoned down. You can put it over here in manual mode, and then here's the cool part. Check this out. Look what happens. Got it floored, and I'm in the red line, and it stays there. Most cars will upshift. This car will stay in the red line all day long. Back here is why people love crossovers. Of course, a crossover has a lot more utility than a sedan with a trunk. Plus, you get a 40-20-40 folding back seat, which means that there's even more room for all of your toys and gear. I've been talking a lot about the Jaguar F-Pace, and that's because I think it most closely competes with the Stelvio. Both are brands that have been around a long time, Jaguar and Alfa Romeo. Both are cars that are new to the crossover segment, and both cars, I think, will actually sell really well. So the question is, with those two direct competitors, how are they different? And I would say the biggest difference between them is the engine note. The Jaguar has a little bit more of that snap, crackle, and pop that I like. This one, it's okay, but I'd like to hear a little bit more deep down gurgle. This Stelvio gets 24 mpg combined, and it starts at just under $42,000, but, and this is a big but, if you get the one with all the bells and whistles like this one, it'll go all the way up to $55,000 MSRP, and that is a big chunk of change. Now keep in mind that coming next year, there is a hotter version of this car, 505 horsepower Quadrifoglio, or 4-leaf clover. The other little issue that I have with this car is this is a little Mazda-like. It really does. If there were a cousin to this car, I would say it is a CX-5, which is a good thing because the CX-5 has a brilliant interior. But these two cars seem to have been the same brother from a different mother. One was Italian and one was Japanese, but both are very similar in their layout, in the way that they present the gauges and the materials they use. So if you like a Mazda's interior, you're going to love this Alfa Romeo's interior. Last year, you guys bought 2.1 million crossovers in America, and here's the reason why. You can demonstrate by these two doors. Look how much taller and higher this door is, which means that getting in and out of this car is a little tricky. Getting here, not so hard. I just slide in. It also means that when I'm sitting behind another car, like the Giulia, I can see over it, and that is why these cars are in two very different segments. One that is exploding and one that is flatlining. I would say it's got some of the, I'm going to say it, the best steering out of any other car in its segment, and that includes the Porsche, the Mercedes, even the Jaguar. And that's the cool part of this car. That's really the secret sauce. While there is a lot going on and it allows you to drive fast and gives you probably one of the most sportiest rides in the segment, it does so in a traditional way without using a lot of magic electronics to kind of get in between you and the driving experience. I bet you back in 1910 when the brand was first founded, they wouldn't have ever thought that such a car would exist. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, real world reviews. See you guys next time. I think I'm going to take, hell yeah, this one for a ride.